My name is Peter Buckley. I'm with SAR Resources and Training, and my job is as a standards officer in SAR Resources and Training. And my role here today is a training officer to train the Northern Territory Emergency Services in Air Search Observer training. Air Search Observer is usually a member of the State Emergency Service or Territory Emergency Services who acts as our eyes on a search. The Rescue Coordination Centre usually has a single point of contact for the states and territories. They contact that person or persons, and they then activate their air search observers in the area that's needed, and coordinates the observers going to the area that's the search is in, and organises everything from accommodation, food, all facilities that they need to be there for maybe 1 day to up to 3 or 4 days to conduct the search. To be a good air observer, they need to certainly be keen and have a good sense of awareness, good observation skills. We do teach them observation skills on the course, but they also want to help and want to assist, and or helps if they don't become airsick as well. And having good eyesight is very important as well. Correct colour vision is very important. On the course, we teach them a little bit about the SAR system in Australia. We teach them how to actually observe from an aircraft as opposed to seeing from an aircraft. We teach them a little bit about the search patterns that they'll be flying in, and we teach them about how to call targets when targets are sighted in the search area, and safety around aircraft and on tarmacs.
So you guys, those over water, you'll be wearing a life jacket. These have got fuel buoyancy chambers. They're activated by the red tabs. So jerk to inflate. Okay, so water people, grab a life jacket carefully.
What we're going to do really is just go up the coastline just to the northeast of here. We'll try and find some boats for you to look at, and I'll point out land features, what they'll look like 1 mile out, 2 mile out, 5 mile out at certain heights. Yep. Yeah.
We've got sorties planned for the observers where they'll go out and actually spot targets that we'll have pre-positioned in the ocean and over land. The over ocean will be a vessel in distress, and the over land will be a 4-wheel drive in distress. And it's there where they actually get to practice what they've been taught in the classroom environment, where they'll actually call the targets and keep the pilot informed what's going on. Do all the correct things that they should do on a real mission, take the correct equipment with them, act appropriately on board the aircraft, and just get to practice what they've been taught. Some of the large challenges are that the object they're searching for may not look like the original object, so they now have to sort of put their mind into a frame that they're now looking for something that's possibly broken up on the ground or in the ocean, and so they really have to call everything they see that's unusual, and that unusual sightings are always checked out to make sure they're not part of the target that they're looking for.
So tomorrow's going to be all about looking at distances and calling targets and so on and so forth, and your assessors will be on board. Will assess appropriately and make sure you all act as a team and use all the appropriate calls and use all the appropriate techniques. Following
the ground flights, they do some what we call emergency procedures training, where they learn to get in and out of a life raft, their own life raft that they carry on board the aircraft. So in the event that the search aircraft that they're in has to ditch in the water, they know how to activate their own life jackets and climb into their own life raft.
Yeah, so start pulling on it.
Start pulling on it if you want.
Cheers. Make sure you're pulling on it. Get going.
It's there.
Okay, put your feet up against the life raft and give it a good yank.
It was just finding out what it's like to be suspended in a life jacket for a while, swimming as a group, helping each other in survival situations, and then deploying and getting into a life raft. And the last exercise there was turning it over individually, so being able to not only get the equipment in the water but use it effectively once we're in that situation. It's very good. It's not the sort of thing that you get when the stewardess reads the card. To do it for real is it's quite different. So I feel much more confident now if anything happened at sea. If we're in that situation, you'd be able to either direct or take charge and keep people safe.
Yeah, it was really interesting. It was different to what we usually do because we're working with AMSAR and getting up in planes. There were a couple of bumpy bits. I think the worst bit was turning the corners with the sharp angles. Felt a little bit queasy. We managed to see a crocodile at one stage and we found what we were looking for, found a boat and found a four-wheel drive. This was probably the most interesting bit, the stuff in the pool. Learning how to survive if we're stuck out at sea for a few days. And I guess it's probably interesting to see what people are going to be putting up with when we go out to rescue them. It is a bit tricky when I'm soaking wet and freezing cold. Everything's a bit tricky. Yeah, it's a great opportunity. It's really good fun. Great way to spend the weekend.